Good morning, you guys. Welcome back to Rocket City Yardstead. I just got home yesterday evening about 7 o'clock. We have been gone on vacation for just shy of 2 weeks. We left on July 4th. We got home on the 16th. So my garden has been kind of just sitting here. I set up a watering system before I left, if you saw the pre-vacation garden tour. And so it's been getting watered. I think we've had some rain, but I'm not 100% sure. And now it's time to take a peek at this garden. I did a quick walkthrough last night and I could not believe some of the things I saw. So I want to bring you guys through, and we definitely need to do some harvesting today as well. I think these plants need some more fertilizer. They're looking a little bit yellow. I think it's kind of hard to see in the camera, but the jalapenos are ripening kind of small. You can see they have some black spots on them. That's a sign of ripening. So we ordered some more fertilizer and we're gonna take care of these plants. Look, we've got some ripe peppers on here. See if I can move that and get to the red. We have lots of poblanos on these plants. One of my New Mexico Parker plants died, and this one still doesn't look very good. But some of them are loaded with peppers. Got some changing colors. There's definitely some bug damage. You see down here. But for the most part, things are looking really good and just loaded with peppers. It's kind of hard to see. Our okra has grown a lot. And look at that blossom. Isn't it beautiful? I think I spotted one actual piece of okra when I came out here last night. Oh, right there. So these are just getting going, and we have not ended up with massive okra that we need to deal with. That zinnia is lovely, and those okra plants on that side are looking fantastic as well. But the big thing I want to show you guys here is that my Georgia candy roaster squash that's supposed to be on this trellis, it developed a very full mind of its own while we were gone. I'm kind of in the shot here. Let's see. It has creeped out of the bed and grown a good 9 to 12 feet out of the bed down the fence line. It's just crazy. But I did spot a Georgia candy roaster right down here by the fence last night. Look at this squash hiding in here. This was not here when we left, and there are a ton of them. We'll have to go on the other side to show you. Oh, this is new for me, guys. Purple cayenne peppers. I accidentally bought a mixed seed pack of cayenne peppers. I didn't realize at first the pictures on the package were red, but this package had yellow and red, some bigger sized peppers. And so it's just sort of a guess. When you plant seeds, you could get anything. And one of the plants I got this year is one of the purple ones. So I'm kind of excited about that. I'm gonna have to deal with this Georgia candy roaster. He's attaching himself to my pepper plants. I have grown these 2 different years and never had them be so vigorous. So I wasn't prepared for what they were going to do while we were gone. Here's some of my red cayennes. See that pepper in there? Oh, that squash just fell. We've got lots of serrano peppers. And I think you can probably see these leaves, they're definitely yellowish. We're going to have to add more fertilizer. That's just the nature of a first-year garden. And we've got a ripened serrano. But these plants are loaded with peppers. They kind of blend in with the foliage, but oh, there's a good shot. You can see a few of them. I need to show you guys my basil plants. I don't know what's going on with these, but they do not look good. There's something wrong with them. I don't know if it's disease or some kind of herbicide damage. That seems a little bit strange because I would expect my peppers to have problems if that was the case. But let's take a look. So look down at the lower leaves. They're these normal looking leaves. And then up here at the top, they're all weird and curled. It's happening on my purple basil as well. This plant mostly looks good, but now it's got some spots like that as well. I need to look into this, but if you guys happen to know what it is, please let me know because we need to figure it out. Not all of the plants look like that, just 3, 4 of them in this bed. But I need to figure out if I need to pull it or not so the rest doesn't get messed up. And I definitely need to come out and do some pinching off because you can see we've got flowers now. Our Thunbergia or black-eyed Susan vine was just putting on its first few flowers when we left. And y'all, it has so many flowers now. It's as tall as me. And they're just so lovely. I'm obsessed with these flowers. I'm so glad I planted this. My nemesis in the garden. And they're so hard to catch. Those leaf-footed bugs. Let's take a look at this side. It's got a whole cluster of them down here. They're just stunning. So now onto what I would call the star of the show here in the garden, having gotten home. The Georgia candy roasters just went insane. And there are so many squash on these plants. Look at that. Get my hand in here so you can kind of get a gauge. There's one down here. Look at how big it is. It's as tall as the bed, so 18 inches long. Here's another one that started. And then our green beans, after we fertilize them, they have put on lots of flowers. So these bush beans, they're Haas Green Blaze. They're going to be giving us beans soon. They also greened up more since we fertilized them. Oh, you know what, y'all? This basil over in this bed is doing that curly thing too. I just don't know. We had some cosmos start blooming while we were gone. I love these. They're so lovely and delicate looking. Zinnias and another Georgia candy roaster dangling off this side of the bed. And actually, let's see if we can get down here, trailing way out of the bed, and there's another one that we might end up with more food. This bed here, these wax beans are just not doing well. I don't know if it's the heat, the fertilizer. I fertilize them just like the other beds, but they look so terrible. Or what the deal is, but I'm not sure we're going to get anything from those. However, my butternuts have decided they're going to sneak over and root in this bed. So I'm letting them do that. I think there's definitely soil deficiency because my loofah looks really yellow as well. It needs some more fertilizer, I think. But the butternuts have definitely decided they want to take over as well. And we've got a lot of them in here. Here's one up in there. Dangling off the side of the bed. I'm very excited about all of these. I feel like I almost need to apologize for how sweaty I am, but I think my body really acclimated to that dry heat out west. And we came home to a heat advisory. So I have to reacclimate to my really high humidity. I do want to get this loofah fertilized because I think if we could get it really healthy looking, it's going to provide some amazing shade in this garden. Look, this is where it has reached the other side of the garden. It's down almost to my waist on the arch. So I think it's worked out that I only planted loofah on that one side, but it just needs a little love and a little help. I have lots of peppers to pick. Can you see all the color in here? These are our snacking peppers, the lunchbox variety. Got lots of colorful peppers. And I knew that this was a risk we were taking leaving, but some of our tomatillos are just overripe. And it is what it is. I would not trade time with my family or our vacation and experiencing new things, but some of these tomatillos are definitely past their prime. Let's take a look. Oh, some of them have actually fallen off. So here you can see they've actually turned purple. They've been on the plant so long and they're kind of soft. I'm definitely going to have to do some harvesting and see what is salvageable. I'm also unfortunately seeing all the leaf-footed bugs. They have come out in full force while we were gone. Let me show you. See them hanging out on the tomatillo husks. I'm going to see if I can grab one, but these guys are really fast and I have a hard time catching them. Look at this beautiful eggplant. We have more eggplants on some of our other plants as well that are planted in our newer area. Oh, and there are a ton of flea beetles. I don't know how well they come through on the camera, but these guys, these little tiny bugs, they poke all these little holes in the leaves. I typically find that if the plants are larger, that they do okay with some flea beetle damage. So hopefully it's going to be fine because these plants are a nice size. Look at our tomatoes, guys. Some of them are a little sad looking. There's been some cracks, but they healed up, so that's good. And on this plant, look at all of them blushing. So many. And then we have some that are ready to take in as well. These eggplants are smaller. Let's see if I can get in here. Smaller eggplants, but looking good. And look at all of the red peppers. These are my Corno de Toro peppers. And I was worried that they would be overripe by the time we got home. But they are just now starting to ripen. Those two look about ready. So it turns out I didn't really have anything to worry about with the peppers. I was really worried I was going to come home to overripe full-size peppers. That would have been really sad. I do want to show you guys the Chinese green spinach, which is really an amaranth. I planted it because I read that it was a really good alternative to lettuce in the summer. And I did give it a taste, and it does have a little bit of a lemony taste, very much like spinach. But y'all, this stuff looks like lace. I don't know what pest loves it so much, but look at these leaves. It's just been decimated. I'm going to let it keep growing because maybe it's something with a life cycle where it won't come back and the plants will fill in on their own. But I mean, look at that one. I had no idea that they would end up like this. Let me show you guys. There is one that we had so much heavy rain that the seed washed out and it's growing in a hole by an arch in the ground. This one looks fantastic. So I've been leaving it, but looking at it compared to those others, we could definitely eat off of this plant. It's a little bit crazy how different the health is just within about 4 feet. One of them is growing in the ground and one is growing in the new bed. I think that's just the nature of starting new gardens. You kind of don't know what your soil is necessarily going to end up like. And it's going to take several years to amend and get to a really good, healthy place. But we'll just keep fertilizing this year and doing the best we can, and we'll just make sure the soil gets better and better as the years go on. I definitely am going to need to harvest green beans. Look at these beautiful beans. These are those Seychelles beans that I planted on my trellis. There are plenty that are ready, and there are lots of new baby beans as well. I also noticed last night, because we weren't here, that some of them have gone rogue and they are growing up my zinnias. I may have to see if I can figure out how to detach them and get them onto the actual trellis. But they're looking good. They definitely have some bug damage. This looks like some kind of sap sucker got a hold of it. But we can still eat these fresh and it'll be fine. I do want to show you guys the Dutch fork pumpkins. I think you can see they're pretty yellow looking. They definitely need some more nutrition, and I think as a result of that, they have aborted most of their pumpkins. So once our new bag of fertilizer shows up, I'm going to get out here and do a lot of fertilizing. But I did spot a pumpkin right here. So hopefully we're going to get some, and adding the fertilizer is going to be tremendously helpful. Because look at these leaves. Now that is a baby squash bug. We're going to kill him. But just lots of yellowing. The zinnias we planted in here with the pumpkins and green beans are really lovely though. One of the other things that went crazy while we were gone was my zucchini rampicante. Let me show you behind me. It's just worked its way all the way across the walkway. It's looking really beautiful and healthy though. But look up here. These two are gigantic. One of them is starting to turn colors. You can see it's a little bit more yellow. I think I might pick this one and we'll eat it like summer squash. So I do want to show you guys the good and the bad of the going on vacation, and look at this. This is all bindweed that just grew like a weed while we were gone. I'm going to have to get out here and try and get all of this off before it starts setting flowers and seeds. But I also need to be aware of the heat advisory and not spend too much time out here in the middle of the day, because it's only about 9 o'clock in the morning and it is ridiculous already. We have lots of cherry tomatoes I need to come out here and pick. We ate a few last night and some of them are definitely overripe, which I expected, but we're going to get a lot. Here are some you can see are a little bit overgrown and just too ripe, starting to rot. My volunteer rattlesnake pole bean plant definitely has some overgrown green beans, and some of them have started drying already. We may actually save some seeds from these. I knew this kind of thing was going to happen, so I'll be grateful for some dry beans we can save, and hopefully if we get all of these overgrown ones pulled off, we will be able to get the plant going some more. Because you can see there are still new clusters of flowers on here. So I don't think these plants are done quite yet. My walkway zinnias, I just couldn't bring myself to pick. They're so pretty, and I'm really glad that I've left them, even if they take a little extra work when I weed whack the walkway. But isn't it lovely? And this one is really beautiful. I did come home to a very sad Parisian pickling cucumber. It's just getting lots of bug damage. And it had this huge overgrown cucumber on it that I pulled off last night. But to be expected. I do think that I am going to start some cucumber plants in the house and try and get them established and nice and healthy, and then bring them out for trying to plant a fall harvest of cucumbers. Because this was just a really disappointing cucumber year. I don't think we've ever had a year with so few cucumbers from our garden. I think we've had like 3. But that's why you preserve the bounty in the years you do get them, just in case you have a year like this. More bindweed, my friends. I have quite the job ahead of me. And tomatoes to tie up. These were not quite tall enough when we left, but now they're huge and they have tomatoes all over them. See right there. So I really need to get in here and do some pruning and get them tied up. But the one thing I am not seeing on any of my tomato plants is hornworm damage. So that's the thing I was most worried about coming home to. Trying to see if we can get a good shot in here, but we've got some eggplants that are ready to harvest too. Looks beautiful. Oh, it was sitting on the tomato cage. I'm gonna let it stay there. Ooh, some more beets for my mom. They're not very big, but she'll be happy to have them. Trying to see if I can spot any of the other eggplants because I know they're in here. It's a bit of a jungle, my friends. There's one. Here's one. There's another one. We're gonna have to have us some baba ganoush. They're really hard to see. They kind of blend in the dark. But lots of eggplant. And our sweet potatoes have really filled in while we were gone. I'm happy to see that. Last, but I would say certainly not least, is our row of flowers. Y'all, this is just spectacular. I definitely need to come out and pick some flowers and get some new bouquets, but it's just so beautiful. It's exactly what I want when I plant this row. Let's take a closer look at a few of them because some of them are just, I just don't even have words really. These Oklahoma salmon zinnias, I just think they're so lovely. These are very pretty. They've started to get some bug damage of some kind on the petals, but still beautiful. I love this color. This Cosmo has gotten very tall. It's about to my neck in height, and it's just now putting on its first buds. So I'll be interested to see what kind of Cosmo this is because it was a volunteer. This zinnia in particular just blows my mind. Look at how big it is. But the colors are phenomenal. I also am trying to peek in here. This basil is getting really large. No flowers yet because this is that cardinal basil that's supposed to have big flower clusters. Oh, and I guess I can show you guys too. Here's my other patch of sweet potatoes. They've filled in really nicely as well. I also just spotted another zucchino rampicante. It's kind of hiding back here, but here it is. We are not going to want for squash, even though the yellow squash and zucchini are all dead. But I do want to get some more planted. So maybe we'll just have a succession of different kinds of squash. Now that we've taken stock of everything, I'm going to start picking all the things I need to take in. Ideally, I would like to be able to let everything ripen completely on plants, but, oh, hello, bee. With the leaf-footed bugs all around, that is just not an option, unfortunately. They will attack the ripening stuff even more than the green stuff, and things will just start to rot. But even your peppers, they'll finish ripening in the house. And so it's just better to get them off. And maybe they don't taste quite as good as if they could have ripened on the plant, but better to get food than not food. I was most concerned about these lunchbox peppers, so I'm very excited that they are just now getting close to full ripeness and we haven't lost any of them. So here's our post-vacation garden haul. I'm really happy with this. we did lose a few things. We lost a few of our big tomatoes and quite a few of our cherry tomatoes to the leaf-footed bugs. The damage was just too much. But to be perfectly frank, that would have happened if I was here or not. I haven't really found a good way to get rid of those organically. If you know how, give me some tips, y'all. But we got all of these sweet peppers, so many. I did go ahead and pick some that were partially ripe, and they'll finish ripening here in the house, but I wanted to beat the leaf-footed bugs to those. We got all of these Cherokee purples, Heatmaster tomatoes, and I think this is my first mortgage lifter. So very excited about these. 5 pounds of tomatillos, even with the ones that I just left out there that had gotten overripe. So we're going to be able to make a batch of salsa verde. And I'm so excited about that because you guys have probably heard me say, last year I only got enough tomatillos to make 1 pint of salsa. So we just ate that fresh. But what else? We've got some of our hot peppers that have already gotten ripe. There are a lot of full-size green peppers out there that I need to pick, but I just went ahead and got the ones that had fully ripened. These eggplants, you guys, I think we're going to make some baba ganoush, but these two in particular that I picked, they are just so pristine and perfect looking. I'm just elated. Green beans, very happy to have some green beans out of the garden. And last but not least, some flowers because we got to have the pretties in the house. And I picked some eucalyptus and some basil to go with those. So overall, I was a little bit nervous about being gone for so long, but the garden just did fantastic while we were away. I think setting up all of the soaker hoses and the timers probably made a huge difference. We didn't have to worry about whether it rained or not. And there's going to be so much food coming out of the garden in no time. This is already a lot of food. So I'm just really happy to come back and see everything thriving. So thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye.